This is a bit of a different video today. I've got this Machine Mart Clark strong arm 10-ton press. It doesn't work. You can see here, this is the gauge that's showing well, 10 tons, but there's actually nothing on it. To fix this, I'm going to check the level of the oil in here. It's a 14mm bolt on the end there, and then I think it's going to be low, and either way I'm going to take all the oil out and replace it with this. This is the Clark hydraulic oil. Don't know if it says a spec on it, but that's the stuff they sell for these. So first of all, I'm just going to undo this. There we go. And then if I stand this up, I've unwound that. It comes with a little dipstick, and I'm just going to wipe that off and just dip it. After having wiped it off and just dipped it, and that means you've got to thread it back in again. Let's have a look. So we're low. Let's see if I can get it to focus. You can see here, a bit low on oil. But either way, what I'm going to do now is just chuck all the old oil in there from this cylinder. To speed this whole thing up, I'm just going to use the 21mm here, and this knurled bit there, I'm going to undo that to remove this pipe. That's been removed off there now, and I'm just going to tip this whole thing up and hopefully it just comes out a bit quicker. Right, now that's all drained into there, you can kind of see what it looks like. Just put this little protective cap back over it, and I'm going to get onto the next bit here, which will be removing this gauge, because I found that's not working either. So I'm just going to brace it with this nut here, and then just undo this square nut which takes off the whole gauge. And I've actually got a new one here from Machine Mart that, as it should do, is reading 0. So I think before I do this part of it, I'm actually going to place this back onto the stand, and that's just because it's a brand new gauge and I don't want to scratch it or whatever. I know it's ridiculous because it's going to get ruined anyway, but may as well keep it nice at the start. What I've done here is just clean this whole thing off. I've just got a brush and just got rid of any crap that was on it before. So now I'm just going to basically place this back on here. It comes with these this ring that holds it on, so just clean that all down. And I've got some brake clean here, just clean up the threads. There's nothing really in them anyway, but may as well, while you're here, clean the threads down with that ring. So you can see here I've just placed this on there, got this ring on the bottom. Just gonna tighten that up, don't need to go mental, but that just snug it up to there. And now I'm just going to take this gauge off. Using a 30mm spanner below and a 17mm spanner on this gauge. I can just undo that. There's no pressure in the system, so nothing to worry about here. Like so, and replace it with a new one. Just going to make sure there's no crap in there. I'll probably just clean that out, but no, it actually looks alright. So this is the new one. Get this stopper off, just thread the new one in like so. So the new gauge is on there, obviously pointed to 0, and that's all tightened up there. Now it's good a time as any to place this ram back on here, and that's just done with these little bolts we have down here, some Allen heads. I'll just whack that on there because it needs to be fitted with the dipstick pointing up anyway, so it makes sense to mount it. So now that's tight with those two Allens. I think it was a 6mm Allen and a 5mm Allen at the top. These bolts there and there. It's time to connect this hydraulic line again. And I'm just going to pop it in there after taking this cap off. So this is it going in. You can see there. I'm going to pull that nail bit back. So I'm just tightening that to 21, hold on to the nail bit. Now we need to fill up with oil. I've got this little funnel here, that just came from a lawnmower I bought, but I think it will do the job. Just stick it in here and I'm going to fill it up. Obviously I want to try not to overfill it, I was going to have to tip some out, it's going to be a bit of a pain, but you know, it needs to be somewhere on there, so I'm just going to do it really slowly and fill it up till I can get it about midway on that dipstick. So putting the oil in just seems like this is the best way. Hold it above and just dribble the oil in like that, otherwise if you put the funnel straight on there it just causes an airlock and it's a pain. So if you just put it like that, you're probably best off. I'm not going to lie, that was a complete pain in the arse, and even better than that, the little dipstick thing, the rod fell off into the ram, which is just completely great. But either way, I've done it, and I just ended up using this. I just dipped down, got a rough reading off it. Not great, not great in general really, but I think if I was going to do it again, I would probably use one of those little thumb sprayers. That would be much easier. I've got one, but it's actually full of a different type of oil. I didn't want to tip it out, but I'd probably use one of those with a flexible line, poke it in there. That would be a lot easier. But either way, that rod fell off, which is just an absolute joke. Anyway, I'm going to do this up now with 14 and see if this thing will actually work. So the first thing I'm going to do is just lock this valve off, and hopefully this will begin to move. It's locked off, and then I should undo the valve. Anyway, that's pretty much it. So I put this little grub screw in there and just tighten the foot on, and now I'm just going to see if it'll actually work. So I've just got the metal plates and just see if I can get a pressure reading or force reading out of this. Here we go. It's actually part of that brake caliper, the piston I took out. So let's have a look. Okay. Okay. I don't want to go too mad, but either way it appears to be working. And the valve, yeah, that is working. So had a bit of a issue with that dipstick falling off, but I just used this, like I say, it's about the same length. Dipped it down, pulled it out. Not ideal at all because that little rod thing's floating around there somewhere, but other than tip the whole thing out and you lose all of that fluid, I just didn't figure a way. I actually tried to use a magnetic pole, anyway it didn't work. So that thing's in there, whatever, it works. It's going to serve me alright, and at least now I've got my press back in action.